What's up, beautiful people? This is your girl, Blue Nola. I'm back in the building with another video. I hope all is well in your world. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We're back to talk about the JayZ situation, the Diddy case, and most importantly, Jaguar Wright. She seems to be in the middle of a lot of this stuff that's going on and that's happening. And I happened to see on social media that she had made some statements about JayZ, where she actually said that JayZ had SA'd her. She's even talked about a box cutter, and then there was some other information she was sharing about how she had been on a video or something like that, right? And then it seems like she tried to change the narrative or maybe change the story up a little bit and say that she never said it. So we're going to kind of touch on that as well. But let's just kind of do a little bit of housekeeping. Thank you for coming through. Welcome to my channel. This is Blue Nola, of course. You can always follow me on Instagram for the latest updates and anything I have to say in real time regarding any of these situations or stuff that's on, of course, out there on social media. The first thing is first, we did a reading on JayZ and the accuser, the 13-year-old who's now 38. And in that reading, and it's here on the channel, I'll link it in the description box and I'll link it in the chat. I told you guys that I felt that something was faulty with the story. What, 2 days later, we get to see this interview and we immediately can see that something is happening with this. The story is not adding up, right? So of course we got people that's divided, like, oh, this story is not, this story is not making sense, and then they have other people. She got paid off. Well, let's make common sense common sense. How did she get paid off if she's still saying she's standing by the story that he actually essayed her? Like, let's make that make sense, right? And then of course there's more information where the attorney came out and said, in their rush to put the story out, that they didn't quite vet the person and that they do recognize some inconsistencies in the story. And I'm like, wow, right? So the story regarding JayZ in the alleged 13-year-old that he allegedly essayed, come to find out this story has a ton of inconsistencies in it, right? And we're going to kind of see where that's going to go in a minute. The second story that we did, which is specifically, and I told you guys, we're not doing the whole every single person, right? Diddy has hundreds of cases against him, 120 alleged victims, right? But we were doing the actual bodyguard that was, what do you want to call it? He did done an interview as well. And before then, I also said I didn't trust that story either. And a lot of you feel the same way, right? Now, we're talking about specific situations, not the whole, every case in its entirety, because we can't sit down and say, okay, every single case there's no victim behind it. I do feel like there are people that are taking advantage of this situation and treating it as treating it as a class action lawsuit where everybody's trying to get in and get their piece of the pie, right? So far, the 13-year-old alleged victim of JayZ, her story has a lot of inconsistencies in it, is not ringing true. And so far, the bodyguard who allegedly was on duty and he was given a drink, that story is not ringing true as well, right? So what does that mean? Again, Diddy has 120 cases, and maybe some of those cases are real victims, but right now, the two that we're talking about specifically, they just didn't ring true for me, all right? And then come to find out later, it just wasn't ringing true for you guys either, a lot of us, right? So then we have Jaguar Wright. She's been on social media for many, many years talking about, Diddy and JayZ and Clive Davis and things of that nature. And then we saw her essentially, and I'm going to use this word because this is exactly what she did to me. She backpedaled on a particular accusation that she had made against him about being SA'd. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a quick checkup to see where is this case with the 13-year-old alleged victim with JayZ is going. Where is this going now that there are inconsistencies with this story? Is this going to continue to move forward? Young lady's father is saying, I don't know what she's talking about, right? I don't remember bringing her. I don't remember driving 5 hours. I don't remember any of this. Um, she said she spoke to Joel and Benji Madden while she was there. They're saying they were out of town at the time. And come to find out, JayZ, it sounds like he wasn't even at the actual location she was trying to describe. So now her lawyers are trying to nail down the actual location. Give me the energy around JayZ in the case with the 13-year-old alleged victim that claimed that she was held down and essayed. And she has the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Give me the energy around that particular story, only this story. We're not talking about other cases that may be brewing or future to come. We're talking about this. Where is this heading, this particular case, Spirit? With JayZ and this alleged victim. This story is in trouble. This particular case is in trouble. So we should hear something soon about it. This is talking about, and let's start it today, between now and the next 1 to 3 weeks, we should be hearing that this has run into some trouble. There's some judgment coming away. This is completely, and it talks about coming to an end. So let's just talk about then this is only on this case. Let me preference this. This case with the 13-year-old person allegedly who claimed that she was essayed by JayZ, essayed by Diddy Combs at this party. Remember, this is the one that we have some inconsistencies in her story. We're only speaking of this case. This story is coming up in 9 of Pentacles energy, which talks about there's some deception there, some deceit there. And this talks about, there's something about limitations. So there's something here where now, there's something about people are questioning this. For the case itself is coming up as trouble. Trouble, again, in the next message, this talks about some trouble. This represents hitting an obstacle, a roadblock, some trouble, right? The story has, I think letting these people do the interview was the worst decision you ever made in your life for whoever is allowing this. Because the story is now, come to our attention, to our ears, and we were able to hear for ourselves what's going on, see some silhouette of the victims. The word, even though their voices were disguised and their bodies were shadowed, you can still sense that there was some deception there. 3 of Wands, this case is hitting a brick wall. This talks about to accomplish it almost makes you feel like they may accomplish getting this overturned. A judgment is coming soon. You have the card of judgment and the world card. This talks about how they're seeking to have this looked at, seeking to have this struck, or whatever the case may be. This shows in the messages, this will help that. There's, again, Wheel of Fortune. This talks about a setback. This talks about some uncertainty. This talks about a reversal. I would not be surprised if this particular case with this person who's alleging this happened, I wouldn't be surprised if they run into some real roadblocks. 10 of Swords and 10 of Swords as well. This represents the end of the situation, the end of the phase. This represents a failure, a collapse to be defeated, right? This is what this talks about. So again, this feels like this particular case with JayZ is going to run into a brick wall. Okay? The story didn't add up for me when I read it. It didn't add up once I actually saw the person do the actual interview. Holes in the story. Again, she's 13 years old. Now she's got autism. We'll actually ask that question. 13 years old with some alleged autism. Taking a 5-hour trip with a 20-year-old friend. It just, happens to run into this bodyguard who happens to bring her to this party, and she happens to talk to Joel and Benji, and she happens to drink a drink, and happens to go get in the room, and none of it made sense to me, even in the reading, right? And then 2 days later, she came out, and the story just didn't make sense at all. This is coming up as hitting a roadblock. I'm just doing an update on the 13-year-old alleged victim of JayZ. This is coming up a roadblock. So if it's coming up as a roadblock for JayZ, right? This person is attached to Diddy. This means it's coming up as a roadblock for her as it relates to Diddy. All right. Let's ask that question directly though. Because if this is struck from him, it'll be struck from this. Give me the energy around the 13-year-old as it relates to Sean Combs. Because it's definitely coming up as an issue. Sean Combs. How is this particular case, the 13-year-old who claims she was S8, how is this going to play out for him? Six of Cups, Seven of Swords, of course, and this is going to now cast doubt on her case for him. This is your credibility. This represents a failure. This represents your credibility is what? Shot. Page of, yeah. Your page of your credibility is just is no longer there. The Nine of Pentacles for this, I'm sorry, the Page of Pentacles for this particular situation is representing now it kind of dissipates. You know, even this, it becomes a challenge. You know, now she has the Nine of, how can we go forward if they strike it from JayZ and we're saying they both were involved in this and there are holes in that story? Doesn't necessarily, there's holes in the story, period. Even for Diddy. Okay. Give me, and then also too, this talks about moving forward. That Five of Cups is okay. We're moving this forward. Because then because this, once your credibility is shot, your credibility is shot. You can't say it was true for Diddy, but it's not true for JayZ. It's the same victim claiming this entire scenario. So now this Six of Cups represents, this is now unrealistic to move forward with, even for Diddy, right? Because there are this person in the Seven of Swords, and we all know this person, that represents deception, trickery, tactics, strategy, an attempt to do something underhanded. This talks about coming clean, rethinking this approach. Now, they could very well try to rework the Diddy situation as it relates to her. But then it falls short, because then now Diddy's team can use this and say, this, she has no credibility. Like her story, like, right? So this represents a lack of commitment to something. And then now, therefore, you may hear, even for Diddy, in the coming months that this is all taking shape for this particular case with this particular woman, you may even hear that they just move on. Because now they can't even use what she's saying, because it's coming up as what? Something that cannot be, they didn't verify it. It has holes in the story. Even the witness that she claims, that she actually claims drove her, is now dead. So she put it to where there are no witnesses with it. Give me the energy around the victims, the alleged victim's father. Why, I mean, what's the energy around him? Why is he, when he spoke to media, he basically said, listen, I don't know nothing about nothing. He has the nine, this talks about him, he literally doesn't want to be pulled into it. The Emperor in reverse is like saying, I don't know what's going on. This is complete chaos, right? And then here even in his Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this man is like, he can't say that it happened, because he wasn't, this represents, I didn't take that path. This is the card of pathways, right? A journey, a pathway. How can I tell you something that I really feel like I didn't do, right? Or I wasn't a part of, right? So, and honestly, it almost makes you feel like he doesn't want to get pulled into it. All right, so that is on the 13-year-old alleged victim. Now, the bodyguard who's claiming he had a drink and he was knocked out, will this case continue to have strength, spirit against Diddy? And I'm not saying like everything is going to be dropped on him. I'm talking about this particular bodyguard that just did an interview. The Ace of Pentacles, the Hangman, the Seven of Swords. His story is coming up as having some challenges as well, right? This talks about a suspension. This person is coming up as trying to get a financial opportunity. The problem is that now now they're going to bring these cases to what? Justice. Justice card is in reverse. See, when you get scared and just settle like Diddy did with Cassie, it leaves you open to a lot of like wolves. But with the justice card, this talks about dishonesty. There's some dishonesty in his story. If Diddy takes these to court and let them get on the stand and speak, he has a better chance, right? Because if he did wrong, it'll be brought to our attention. And if there's some deception, it'll be brought to our attention. It'll be brought to the court's attention. If he makes them each case, right, that he feels he truly, there's some deception there, then it'll be discovered. He'll lock a lot of the cases out by simply letting them go to court and not settling, right? I'm going to ask, are they really true victims? Because if these are the two you're starting with, just like I said in my last reading, I understand, this is not starting off good for you. Bugsby, whoever else you're doing, this is not starting, because your justice card is coming up in reverse as like there's dishonesty, there's unacceptability, there are going to be disputes, some unacceptable, and there's going to be a lot of issues with some of the cases that they bring forward. So let's ask, besides Cassie, are there really true victims? The FBI is saying they have videos. Do they have real victims that will be able to say like they really have a victim here? Give me the energy around that. So the case with the driver, the security officer specifically who did the actual interview with CNN. CNN wrote a statement and said that there were some inconsistencies in his story. Time frame inconsistencies. He said that this happened in 2006. However, the parties didn't start until 2007. He claimed he was married when he wasn't married when he actually was married. There's some inconsistencies in his timeline. This is what they're saying. Let me get on my YouTube channel. Hold on one second, y'all. So there's inconsistencies with that. So that even feels like they're going to run into some issues with that. Not that could be completely thrown out the window, but it feels like they're going to run into some trouble with it. So it's giving me failure to launch. All right. So let me go to my YouTube channel really quickly, and let me make sure I'm still filming. Okay. So let's see what CNN wrote. Hold on, y'all. I want to make sure I'm saying everything correctly. And I wanted to touch on these cases again because I had done readings on them. And right after that, everything started to play out like 2 days later. So it's saying CNN admits to finding several inconsistencies with the John Doe who claimed Diddy sodomized him. Let's read it. It says there were a number of inconsistencies. This is a statement from CNN. There were a number of inconsistencies between the details shared by the John Doe in his interview with CNN and the original complaint filed in October. The original suit says that the assault took place in 2006, not 2007, and that Doe had never been married. In 2006, Combs' white party was held in St. Tropez. In 2007, it was held in the Hamptons, which is where Joe's allegations took place. After CNN pointed out the discrepancies, John Doe's attorneys filed an amended complaint in court, changing those details and acknowledging the mistakes were made. So basically, inconsistencies even with the John Doe. So again, this case is giving me some challenges. All right, it's giving me some challenges in terms of like, this is why you gotta vet people. You gotta get the facts straight. You can't be, quick to rush just to get it out to the media, just so you can have the court of public opinion on your side, because now you're facing issues with timelines and actual years and actual what the person said. As far as the little details can even get you into trouble. Will they actually have any victims at all? True victims that are Diddy come forward? Will they be able to say, yes, this person is truly a victim? Give me any information around that. Out of all of these cases that have been filed, will they find something? And they have moon energy here. Knight of Cups with the card of Judgment. Eight of Pentacles. Two of Swords. You might find maybe a couple of people that their stories have some validity to it. But a lot of these stories, guys, you're going to see that in that Four of Pentacles that talks about hindrances and obstacles, right? But I do feel like you may find a couple of people that may say, you may be able to say, okay, something really did happen here. You have Moon card energy. This represents some secrets and some stuff coming out, right? That's what this represents based on what Diddy has possibly done. This is what is it? Scorpio with a little bit of Libra in the chart. Judgment here, right? Judgment coming through. This talks about some like, now there are going to be some, this is indicating there are going to be some unfair blames. And then this is indicating you may have maybe one or two people that you could literally say, okay, yeah, this person got tied into a situation. But is it to where he's going to spend life in jail? I don't see that, guys. This talks about an indecision, and this talks about two delays. And even in that Four of Pentacles, it talks about hindrances. We'll see. I can't, I would have to like look at each case by case. You can't just do a big collective but I do see where they may have something to some of what, 120 victims, they may be able to like maybe one, maybe two people that they could say, okay, this person really had an experience in the situation. But even with that being said, you may even find in those situations that, some of them people participated and now they want to try to come up on it. Now that JayZ has entered the chat with this whole situation, this is going to change the course for a lot of it. When you see this message here, this represents this talks about even the way JayZ's lawyers moving to, this is going to help navigate Diddy in a lot of ways. I'm not a Diddy fan. I think I've heard horrible things, but I can't, I mean, even though I'm doing readings, the only situation that I've seen that's been tangible that we saw on screen that gave it credit, gave it flight, gave it wings was Cassie, right? Now we could see that he was abusive and aggressive and, is pretty horrible individual. Now, I can believe that there are other people that I see he's had those types of relationships with that could come forward and say that something's happened. So I'm not saying he's going to get off to this squeaky clean at all, because in that Moon card, this could represent other people feeling like they were in fear. There was something happening. He was not a good person. He did this, he did that. I could see that. But then there are going to also be a lot of fake cases too. A lot of people who are going to be saying, this happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me. But if he makes them go through the process of bringing it to trial, you're going to see a lot of that falling apart, right? I don't think he's going to, I don't feel it's squeaky clean for him, but it definitely, and the problem with Diddy too is that he was trying to manipulate some of the, instead of him letting the law do their job, in that Moon card that can say that he was interfering or he was trying to assert himself in some way. So that's going to be his hindrance as well. So I don't feel like he's just going to get up squeaky clean with it 100%. I definitely feel like there's some people that could say they had some experiences with him that, felt unsafe. And that's something he has to own up to. He's decided to live a lifestyle like that. We can see from Cassie, he's capable of being a tyrant. He's capable of being abusive. So he's not off the hook for me. Now, specifically for this 13-year-old alleged victim and this driver, this security person that just did the interview, these stories are not ringing 100% true for me. But I'm definitely seeing where other people could speak on some of the experiences they had. Does it rise to like actual life in prison? I don't know. I don't see it, but it definitely can, there's definitely something there with him in terms of him, some of these cases still moving forward. Now, let's go to, I've been talking about this for about 20 minutes. Let's get to Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright had said that in this interview, well, on this panel, she was talking on this panel, And I saw her say that she was essayed. And then she used the word, this is what Sean Carter did to me. Did Sean Carter ever abuse Jaguar Wright? Ever? Give me the energy around. I'm let the cards speak. Has he ever abused her? Has he physically touched her? Has he held her down? And this is Nine of Swords. This represents a message around. This Nine of Swords represents torment, but this represents a person who's being a shady character. So what does that mean? Did JayZ actually put his hands on Jaguar? Four of Wands, Ten of Cups, Two of Swords, Emperor, Ace of Pentacles, Three of Cups. Jaguar has in her messages that she, I guess at one point, remember I saw her on a video, one point she actually worked with him, right? This represents to work with him. I'm going to be honest with you. The time she spent with JayZ, when she did work with him, it was a, you know, whenever she encountered him, it was a positive experience. She has the Three of Cups, the Four of Wands, and then she has the Ten of Cups. These are all positives. So it doesn't show where she experienced any type of violence under him. This message here is telling us that Jaguar, this Nine of Swords, this is something that people, this is basically saying this person, we need to be suspicious and this is shady business, right? Because when she had whatever encounter she had with him, it wasn't even a negative experience. The Three of Cups represents to be a part of something positive. The Four of Wands is to be comfortable. The Ten of Cups is to almost, this doesn't ring like you had a bad experience when you did have your experience. For, you know, you were literally on the picture, that old picture, hugged up with him. That's what's stripping me out. This right here is, she keeps going with JayZ, saying he did this, he did that, and keeps talking about it. That Emperor reverse represents that I know she feels that she's above being sued, or she won't be sued, and I know she thinks recanting her story will stop any lawsuits. She can still get pulled into it, because with that Nine of Swords and that Emperor here, by her saying so many things on so many platforms in so many ways, she said so much that this Emperor can represent the things that she has said. They can now subpoena her and make her talk and stand behind what she has said, sanction, whatever you want to call it, in some way. I don't see where he actually did anything to her. This, you know, when you look at the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Swords can represent, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This can represent a message, a person who is unfounded fears, somebody who's making something bad, somebody who is, you know, creating a suspicion, shady character, making things worse. This is what this represents. But when you look at her cards as it relates to the actual time she met him, nobody who was around there, everybody who was in, even in like people who were nearby, passing by, group people, could say, I don't remember there being any problems, any issues, right? Why is Jaguar doing this? Jaguar has the Ace of Pentacles for this. And this represents, and the Devil card. What does that actually mean? This is actually a monetization factor for me. Talking about this situation, right? It's a click, it's a view, it's content, it's to make money, to monetize it. She's basically a content creator, right? A celeb singer from old back in the day, who's now decided to capitalize on this experience, that this all the stuff that's going on. The Devil card is basically, this is her way to have some acclaim. This is her way to have some power. This is her way to have a voice. This is her way to make money. So this is a money thing for Jaguar Wright. This is a money thing for Jaguar. This is why she's going on all these platforms, and, you know, this is her claim to fame now, right? Exuberance, to be vibrant, to be determined, right? The Queen of Wands still represents a minded person who's trying to make money, right? And this is what it talks about. Now, she claims that she's in such danger, right? Give me the energy, but she's on 1 million platforms all over the world. Is she in real danger? Give me the energy around Jack. Ooh. She has, and I'm not editing anything, so you'll have to hear me pick up these cards and struggle. Jaguar has a lack of ambition and focus for her personal career. It's kind of like sad to see somebody who has such a beautiful. I remember when my mom passed. I'm not gonna lie. I remember hearing her sing. She was singing on her channel one day, and it just brought me to tears. And my mom had just passed, and I remember her song had touched me so much. Such a beautiful voice. This represents a person who's lacking ambition in their personal career. So this is now her career, right? 3 of Cups is now her new thing. 3 of Cups is her collaborations with all these different content creators. And I don't blame them if they can build their channels off of even though a lot of what she be talking about is already stuff that's been said 1,000,000 years ago about Diddy. Nothing that Jaguar has disclosed has been new information, honestly. But these these rumors about Diddy these have been going on for years. But this represents a lack of personal focus on her personal career. So now the social media, the YouTube, these things are now her career. This is her way to make money. This is her way to get her, have an audience and have some claim to fame and, and all of that. That 3 of Pentacles, again, represents her working with these various content creators. So I don't see her in trouble or in danger. Give me the energy. I need danger for Jaguar. What's the danger for her? She's everywhere, recording, every platform, talking. Is she in danger? And the 2 of Wands that's what's in her mind, but that's fear. She is a fear playing it safe, right? But that could be something that's in her mind. Her judgment is impaired, right? Ace of Wands, but she still is going to go on. I'm afraid for my life, but I'm going to go on 1,000,000 platforms. I'm afraid for my life, but I'm going to go live over here. I'm afraid for my life, but I'm going to say I'm over there. Yeah, it's based on it's situational, right? It's based on what is in her mind. Again, she has the Queen of Pentacles. This Queen of Pentacles represents her, again, making money off of this. Her physical needs, her physical wants, and all that. She does have a legal card here, so I would say if I could see at some point she gets pulled into some of this legally, right? She needs to be careful. This talks about the truth. They want the truth. So, if you are going to say people and have names and victims it's obviously they're going to want to talk to you about the things that you are saying. Does Jaguar actually know any real victims? Ace of Pentacles. Again, a money card coming out. But does she know any actual victims? Knight of Cups is in reverse. Knight of Cups for Jaguar represent fraud, swindling, trickery. She wouldn't be able to produce one victim. If anything, Jag is going to be on the run from a subpoena like she's been on the run from her arrest warrants. I actually like Jaguar Wright. I wish she wasn't involved in all of this. I wish she would, there's so much to be talking about, Does she have something that's factual, Spirit? Because she's coming up as fraud. And the Hermit card is in reverse, and that talks about she doesn't have anything that's factual. I saw her saying on Piers Morgan that a lot of what she's talking about, she's getting it from second-hand, third-hand parties. So she even acknowledged at some point that some of what she's saying is not her first-hand account. That Hermit card is confirming that, right? The JayZ story about being SA'd, not true at all. At all. And then she tried to backpedal on it, Again, she has a legal aspect there, so I just wouldn't be surprised. And she is the queen, the Empress in reverse. The Empress in reverse, don't be surprised if you see Jag come out the loop, because that means she comes out the loop and she starts running again, right? Especially when they start coming towards her. This talks about to get the Empress is almost like a person who now can be stubborn, a person who can can get lost. And then even her Knight of Swords, this represents a lack of commitment, haste taking action to separate herself. This is somebody who can now take action and separate themselves, or start moving around, start trying to make a change. So don't be surprised if they start really trying to pull her in legally to this, if we see her kind of come off the grid a little bit. All right. It can turn legal for her. So I know she's saying nobody has reached out to her, nobody's doing anything. It can get legal for you. Can Jag get in trouble for some of the stuff she's been saying and doing? Let's ask that one last question. Can she get any legal ramifications behind it? Oh, Five of Swords. That Five of Swords just represents for Jag difficulty, tension, right? That could represent people discovering. Unfortunately, this is going to hurt her more than legally. This will hurt her credibility. She'll still have a loyal fans and followers that'll believe what she's saying, but this could represent that by the time they finish with her, a lot of what she's saying, her credibility will be shot. So this Five of Swords is this is like a defensive thing, right? To defend, to now to go against her. That Three of Swords is actually coming up as some discovery, some strife and disappointment. This could represent. This could even be like to try to get her to be quiet. But again, she has a freedom of speech. But you got to tell the truth on this stuff, right? You can't be sitting here saying that this man essayed you and then trying to recant the story. I would respect Jag more, and I know she watches a lot of these videos. Jag, I would respect you more if you would have said, you know what, I really did speak out of turn. I really was. I got caught in a moment. I should have never said his name. I would respect you more if you would have just corrected that versus trying to say that it was altered or that it was AI. I would have respected you more just by correcting it. You would have more credibility by saying, you know what, I said his name. I don't know what possessed me. I was lost in the moment. But eventually you're going to have to speak to some of what you've done. The Two of Cups is here. And this does show in the messages. They're going to want you to communicate. So legally, she does have some messages coming against her legally to stand for what she's been saying. And I think where she's going to get hurt at is more about her credibility. People seeing her as someone who she'll still have a core audience, but some people are going to always believe that JayZ did that or Puff did that, whatever, Diddy did that. But her credibility will be affected, right? Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I wish Jag would focus her attention more on her beautiful voice. She's a great storyteller. Some things that don't involve a lot of stuff. She has a lot of deception cards in her messages, so be careful of take with some of the stuff she's saying with a grain of salt, guys, right? Take what she's saying with a grain of salt. I'm out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and care if you care. But she can, and just for the record, she can get pulled into it legally, and they can depose her if they catch up to her. She does show that if they start trying to ask her to come in and they're trying to subpoena her, she will look like she will try to isolate and take off and go underground again. So I wouldn't be surprised if she does that. Okay, if they do catch up to her and bring her in, this is where you're going to see her recanting, and they're going to be but she has said, I did hear her say some of the stuff she's saying is not firsthand knowledge, but she has said some things that she claimed was firsthand. She claimed she was on some videos. She claimed that she was essayed by JayZ, then she tried to recant that. So she has said that she claimed she had brought some prostitutes to some parties and all this. A lot of that stuff is fabricated. Y'all have a great day. Take care. Stay blessed. Encourage and power. She has too many deception messages here. Take care. Stay blessed. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. This is your girl, Blue Nola. Have a great day. Happy Sunday. Peace and blessings. Bye.